ati umuganda gwo kubanza gwechweka kino arutaro rwa burembwa NRM bikaba biri byomwezi nkaga okwa kabiri obutwatera kabamba twarugayo ne motoka twaraba kasambya twasara tweja na bingora twagenda Kyenjojo ari Kyenjojo twachikama tweja Kagadi twahire Kagadi twachikama tweja police station Isunga elioko maiso aho twehewe embundu RPG 7B abaseja baamini bakabagerekereho na bomu isatu ezo zikatukonyera maiso aho twaragaho Isunga twahika Karuguza erihe na hano mahiro zinga maira abiri aho twasanga waka police station tweho otubundu tusatu aho hati engude enungiho ekabere okuruga Karuguza kwija hano kakumiro kukwata oguru kugenda Nkoko konga twatwerarikirire abatanzania bakaba inamahe mubende twategereza ngo basobora kwija kututanga mu maiso hano twasalamu kuraba hagato uko Akaguta kabimuno tinguma naitwarabire okusarra Karuguza twagenda uko mu buguto bubi umukibira okushikya sahanka bukargaho boira tukyali umubuguto okushikya mwija kumpabara eitwara biro uko kwa gato tujja twahika Nkoko saze kiro nka saha 5 ze kiro hanyuma twarga Nkoko twagenda Ntwetwe Kiboga no twatere base yitu so abantu babunyoro tukabarabo tubarastarabanize naba polisi bitohire umbundu busaho utahuteize zona tukaziyaho umbusinge twabahubira Kajambu ate ogo kaguri umurundi gwo kubanza ogwa kabiri 85 twatera Kabamba General Sare enako zo mwezi mwezi rumu January 85 behe munu nyingi ati baraba cyaka kuriyo mu mpungi baragaho bajya Kyegegwa oko right on nabanje yabe nabaza hapuyo nanyo nariga kuri n'abasirikare runana kujya kuvugana bana basare twa okushanga n'umunyoro bacyataki okushangana okwitirana twitirana birembo erinka ondi okayendugireno aho no twiterine abantu amahiga bagenesare enaku z'omwezi 9 January 85 twarara hansi heyi n'omwiga niko bagweta omu Runyoro omugera heyi n'ekisaaru hanyuma bwanca twagenda ha isomero lya Birembo abasajja bobote bajja batusangaho saha nka 5 twarwana oburemu bw'amaani twababinga ekiro twaragaho twagenda kusesa twaraba nkoko ntwetwe twagarukayo kuri omurukora. That was ejo kabiri Karitango, mugambe ngu Karitango ya kabiri. Ya kasatu abantu betu bani bagenda kwiguraho oburemu obwa Rwenzori 85 mu gwakanaho bakaraba hano bagenda bagenda Rwenzori ogwakana n'obutwatera amasindi enaku z'omwezi 2 okwa kabiri 84 okutwahe emundu nyingi muno nzuza tusoboise okusingura obulemu. Karitango ya katano ni recruitment tukatera hoima obo ni nyoya ebembera abaserikale kutera hoima aho enaku z'omwezi 3 okwa mukaga 84. Then eyo mukaga nabo amboine numbaza ba contact group abaikere nibatusagika nibatusirikira abaserikale nibatusirikira obukonyezi nabo ekyo ndozire tinkozeso mukisa gunu okugambira abayukuru omuganda gwa Bunyoro ahabulemu bwa NRM orutaro obulemu kubwahwaire ngukumumbarize mwikere nimutusagika omukukoma mwebale muno mugenda mu maiso n'okusagika. I was enumerating the contribution of the people of this area to the NRM struggle. I was mentioning the 7 categories of their contribution, which I don't want to repeat because they have heard them. Congratulations to all of you on this occasion of the 37th anniversary of the NRM victory in 1986. That victory came about because of the NRM's 4 principles that we had distilled out of the chaotic politics and governance that had bedeviled Uganda for almost 556 years, ever since the rule of the last Muchwezi king, Wamara, Ruhanja, Njojebunga. Now, some people talk about Uganda as if Uganda started with the British. I really feel offended when I hear people talking like that. We have been here since time immemorial. And we have been here with all sorts of governments. One of the few times we had peace in the whole area was under the dynasty of the Bachwezi, from about 900 AD to about 1350. and this is what I'm talking about here in summary. When the Bachwezi dynasty, you hear them, the Bachwezi, Wamara, Mulindwa, Ndahura, what the Baganda call Mukasa. We call him Mugasha. Those are all Bachwezi. Some were princes, but others were kings. Isimbwa is a Mchwezi. So during that time, this part of Uganda had peace. That's why you hear some of these Wananchi still worship the Bachwezi. They think they were God, they were demigods, because they had brought peace. Now, when their kingdom collapsed, for reasons I don't know, the successor dynasties of the Babito, in Bunyoro, Toro, Congo, Balangira, in Buganda, the Bahinda, in Ankole, Karagwe, Buhaya, Bujinja, etc., the Bashambo in Mpororo, the Bayinjinya in Rwanda, the clan chiefs in Buchiri. That's what we call Lango. Lango is called Buchiri. You know, I really get sick when I hear people talking as if they are foreigners here. I am from here. Nyondo msita wa hanu. Inyo abajungu mugende mwiso nebyanyi. Nyondo wa hanu. So Lango, the name for Lango is Buchiri. Achori, Gani, had been, all these pharaohs, these groups had been incapable of uniting our people and were in constant bankrupt wars of greed and ignorance until the colonialists came on the scene and assigned them to the dustbin of history. Abajungu bayizire obo bukamba kama ubona babuteka mu babwihaho abako bakabwe saziremu bikara mu ntaro ni barwana bonka na bonka Buganda Bunyoro ankore Rwanda nkore omujungu kwizire bona yabukwata yabo bagazo kurwana kabarega mwanga bakaba bamazire kwemara mu amani. The colonialists added to the bankrupt politics of tribal chauvinism pushed by the chiefs the poison of religious sectarianism. Abajungu aba bakama bakana barwana intaro za mahanga. Omjungu yija yaba yaho bona yabakwata kabarega mwanga abandi bona babundara bafoka abayiru babajungu hati konka salamu kwa mahanga oku kwasigaramu hata abajungu kubeija bayongeramu obutwa bukwesalamu okwa madini abakatoliki abaprotestanti abasiramu hatwa twaba n'obutwa bw'emiringo ebiri obutwa bw'amahanga okunobanagana okwa mahanga na okunobanagana okwa madini. They added, pushed by the chiefs, the poison of religious sectarianism. Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, Jews, etc., that had caused so much human hemorrhage in Europe, not to forget the conflict between the Hindus and the Muslims that had caused the breakup of the Indian subcontinent into the countries of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Obo obutu obwa madini na mahanga buto bwakabi muno busisire bitweka bingi byensi Buraya, Buhindi, nkawo koyona na hano. This bankrupt politics of identity, chauvinism, ethnicity, and religion could not allow the young state of Uganda, following independence in 1962, or its democratic institutions to survive. The crisis between Mutesa and Obote in 1966 and between Obote and Amin in 1971 forced the student revolutionaries to take up arms and lead the masses in the effort to destroy the colonial army, the Uganda army, as well as putting forward the 4 principles of the NRM that, as pointed out above, we had distilled out of watching the chaos between 1960 and 1986. You are familiar with the 4 principles: patriotism, Gonza Uganda, Pan-Africanism, Gonza Africa, socio-economic transformation, okuhindura embera y'abantu, and democracy. Government emerera musingi y'abantu. It is these principles that enable Uganda to build institutions such as the patriotic political parties. A party like the NRM is not a party of a tribe or a religion. It is the national political party. That's why we win elections on the first round. We have never gone for a second round. But in 1962, when they had elections based on those sectarian grounds, nobody could get even 40% of the support in the country. Because Parliament ekaba eina abakorasi 82. Bakabata koma president niga prime minister nakaruruka abantu bona nokoma kwa bona bakana bakoma abakorasi bakoma prime minister. At Parliament ya nkaga nebiri ekena abakorasi 82. UPC nokwiba kwayo batunga abakorasi 37. DP bambe ikare wejegere yatunga 24. Kabaka yeka nokwiba nengesondu zabo batunga abakorasi 21. Nkabanduho nyunkanduho imwe mkweta history nyuni mbeta current affairs. Nabana abagurusi bakabaroho bano basekandi bakintu bakabaroho bona baroro. Parliament y'abakorasi 92 hakaba hatarimu ekitebe ekyabere kine nimusobora kubara percentage. UPC 37 no kwiba kwayo. UPC 37 ekyo kikakiri ekitebe ky'aba Protestant n'abasalamu abamu. DP kitebe ky'abakatoliki entebe abakorasi 24. Kabaka yeka nengeso za yombi okutina kinisa abakomi intimidation bakaba ina abakorasi 21. Norora to get majority 50% of the 82 you needed 42 at least. But nobody could get 50%. Why? Because of the sectarian politics. Now, when you see that NRM is winning all this time on the first round, it is because NRM is not a sectarian party. If it was a sectarian party, it would never win. If you try to create sectarianism of religion, you cannot get even 40% of the vote. If you go for tribes, much less. So therefore, it is these principles that enable Uganda to build institutions such as the patriotic political parties, the army. You cannot build an army with sectarian ideology. This is the problem you get in some of these countries. When you hear that a country cannot defend itself, it needs the UN to come and defend it. Big shame. Aba UN okundwanira yowe. Ubu ngwejegire nkabire mbeirenta. But the mistakes start with that poison. If you believe in sectarianism, there's no way you can build a national army or the judiciary and so on that have guaranteed peace all these years. It is those principles that enabled us to build these institutions which have guaranteed the peace you are talking about. That is why we are celebrating now. Patriotism, loving Uganda, and Pan-Africanism, loving Africa, reoriented the Ugandans from following the politics of identity, tribes, religion, gender, etc., to following the politics of the legitimate needs of the people: peace, consumer goods, health, development, education, wealth creation, markets for our product, etc. Izo tukawasomesa twabagambira siti muruge habya mahanga, muruge habya madini, okwesera salamu madini, mureke okurora ogunu muntu wa wehangaki ninga wadiniki, murore ebyetago byanyu nibisana, mwena mwine ebyetago bikusana, mwena numurumu enjara, numukwatwa, what do they call thirst? Umulinyoro bajeta what? Iruho, that's Nyankore. Numukwatwa iruho, numurware ndweire, ebizubi byanyu nibimu, nibisana. Abwenchi abantu abebizubi bikusana, nibesarasaramu, nibechwamu. That was the message of the NRM. On account of that, our economy has grown from a miserable $1.5 billion in 1986 to 48 billion by the end of June 2023. The GDP per capita would be US dollars 1,067. You remember that to enter the middle income category, you need the GDP per capita of US dollars 1,039. This is now the second financial year we have been in that category. So we have already entered the middle income country, the one they have been talking about, but we need 3 years to officialize it. You need 3 years consecutively to be recognized as a middle income country. However, in my view, all these are low targets which Uganda will easily surpass. Why? You remember my admonitions about losing value through the export of raw materials. This low middle income economy we are talking about is still actually mainly a raw materials producing economy, where for a kilogram of coffee, we get US dollars 2 for bean coffee, while the wiser foreigners who roast the coffee, grind it, and pack it for sale in the supermarkets get $50 for the same kilogram. Ogwejegera kwa barkwiragura hati hano ntutunga $2 abakiro y'omwana bali abahera abagezi kubakutwara omwana ogwo bagukaranga bagusa bagutoma upapura bo batunga $50 ito twatunga 2 abagezi batunga $50 omwana gwaitu I have been trying to wake up our people, and I think that I have finally woken up some Ugandans from this sleep of ignorance. We are going to add value to more and more of our coffee and the other raw materials, cotton, maize, forest products, minerals, etc. This broad spectrum value addition movement will jumpstart our economy in a fairly short time to a $500 billion economy of $500 billion. I don't want to hear this economy of 48 billion, 50 billion, 60 billion. Ejo ni economy ya wejegezi. Abantu abarakutunda embira numanya kwisama rwimwe. Embire ibitoke byembire nabamanya banyoro. Embire nabazumanya. Hata umuntu atakumanya kwisamarwa atunga embire azuguzondi jo uriyo wagura embire abantu yahisa nuyanyuke shande eshanda gihama marwa amarwa gehamu waragi esente zona abantu yazitwara iwo tsigara hambire ati nimba shomese nimbanyantinga orukhise embire orukhinga embire abanu yanyuke shande abanu yahisa marwa no kuteka jiwara yimu kuteka abanu yagiteka for all products omwani pamba the raw material producer should be the one to make the final product. If we do that, this economy will jump to a $500 billion economy rather than just dozens of billions of dollars. We now have the electricity, and we are adding more. We have the varied and massive raw materials, and increasingly, we have the entrepreneurs, local and foreign, and we have the African market that we have put in place with our Pan-Africanist communities. I've got one of my friends from Dubai, Mr. Deepak, is there. That man has invested in a number of areas, oxygen and so on. You remember, mujuka mutaka tuine corona tukatuine kizubu cha oxygen. Eyo nayo bakana bagisaka hero. Bitatu oxygen ntujikwatira hano oxygen ero abo kino nogenda kusaka oxygen na hano ero. Therefore, on this occasion, I want to emphasize 5 points. These are: be clear about development, entunguka, enkurakurine, donglobo, inachori, apolu, inateso, and wealth, obugeiga, obuguda, lonyo. Twine okwetegereza ebigambo bino bibiri. Entunguka, omulinyo bayeta enkurakurine. Enkulakulana, okay. Ekigambo ky'Olujungu development, enkulakulana, entunguuka. Nk'oluguudo luno olutwatongoza izooba lya hati. Ejo nkulakulana, ejo n'entunguuka. Baitu omuntu talikulya chorus, tukujja kugenda chorus n'ekijiko okatandika okutimbaho onindya enkulakulana. Olina okulya ebyokulya n'obitunga mu miringo ebiri. N'olima ebyokulya ninga n'oba olina sente n'obigula. So the road will not solve your poverty problem directly. You must use the road to grow the food or get money to buy the food. The same with the clothes, the same with whatever you want. So therefore, be clear about development and tunguka on the one side and wealth of Gaiga. Be clear that socio-economic transformation involves the whole of society to move on two axes: money-based wealth creation with the Chibaro and mass education. Number 3 or 4, stamping out corruption from all government agencies in the central and the local governments. Number 5, stamping out sectarianism. Number 4, stamping out sectarianism and protecting, and number 5, protecting our environment. Those coming to Kakumiro today for the celebrations have seen how many tarmac roads we have done in Bunyoro and how much we have extended the electricity network. The NRM has, however, all this time been telling you that you do not eat tarmac roads, but you eat the food that you have either grown or bought. The same applies to clothing, housing, mode of locomotion, etc. The latter are all part of wealth, and the former, the roads, the electricity, are part of development. Therefore, for wealth, we are telling you that every adult must engage in wealth for money with the Chibaro, either as an entrepreneur or as an employee in the 4 sectors of commercial agriculture, industry, services, and ICT. No excuses for the Wakongozi. You may have a development, but if people are asleep, you can continue with poverty. Why? It is because what eradicates poverty, obworo, obwavu, obunaku, chan, etc., is wealth. Development is a mere enabler of wealth creation. Enkulakulana tekusobola kumalaho obunaku. Enkulakulana amasanyalazi, enguudo, amaizi g'emidumo, amashomero, amarwariro, nibikuheereza omusingi. Konka n'okukozesa omusingi ogwo kukora obugaiga omuka yawe ninga omu kampuni yawe. obuguuda obwo niburikumaraho obunaku. Obunaku nibubingwa obuguuda. Enkurakurana nesobora kubaho Kampala enguudo ziriyo buri kicweka. Bita abayaya abakusinga obungi nobasanga Kampala. Korasi eri hanu, amasanyarazi gari aho, za disco ziri aho, za internet ziri aho, omunaku nawe arihe aho. Omuyayi tene cyari kukora. Nabwekyo nimbasaba nokukira muno abebembezi okuhabura abantu ngu obunaku obworo nubingwa obugaiga. Obugaiga nobushanga nkahi okuhinga n'okuriisa n'okujuba okurukukora sente kandi okwinemu ekibaro. Aha kabiri amakorero amahango ninga make. Aha kashatu obuhereza nkeduka ninga ka hoteli ninga tourism obu n'obuhereza. Kandi hariho ebyoma ebizira hati ebya ICT ebi nabyo nibihereza obugaiga. Nabwekyo kumuragume mugambe byombi. Mugambe entunguka, enkurakurana eyatwena na obuguuda, obugaiga, obugaga obwa buri maka, obwa buri kampani, obwa buri muntu. Secondly, our principle number 3, socio-economic transformation. Okuva omu mbeera y'obujjajja etubeera ab'omulembe. We need to go from okukorera ekida kyonka, teach me each keken, subsistence economic activities, and be commercial with the Chibaro, and also ensure mass education so that the whole society embraces a science-led society and get out of ignorance and superstition where people believe that a talo, when somebody has got a swollen leg, where people believe that a talo is caused by a dogo, witchcraft, and not by a bacteria known as Staphylococcus and Streptococcus bacteria that cause that cellulitis. Tulina okuruga omubutamanya nturaba omukusoma n'okukora emirimu ya sente. Therefore, all emizisico obstacles that interfere with education for all, such as school charges, abakusaba sente masomero ga gavumenti, esente za gavumenti akusaba ebisale masomero ga gavumenti tukazihaho omwaka 2008 betu ba headmaster abamu bakajema baikara ne basaba esente masomero ga gavumenti cyambiriza abana abamu okurugo mu masomero. Ekyo ntugenda kukiguraho orutaro, mujya kuhurira orutaro rw'amaani. Since many families cannot yet afford the paying of money for education, the government must provide free education in government primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. the present dropout rate at the secondary schools level of 64% is not acceptable. Stay tuned. You will hear what we shall tell you in a few weeks. Corruption will be stamped out. I congratulate some government agencies. I've seen people that had stolen PDM money and the Myoga money being arrested or being forced to refund the money. That is good. However, it's not enough. I have heard the Bazukuru crying about the district service commissioners selling local government jobs. Abejukuru bangambire ngo emirimo ya local government erahakatare oyino kusasura nguni basasura bagure emirimo aba bantu aboni mu mbakenise mukwato bujuru tubakwate tubatware ruzerere emyanya. I have heard of girls being exploited sexually as bribes for jobs. Get evidence, please, devoted members of the public, and we expand and roast those pigs. Embisezo, twagala kuzocha. The DSOs and the CIDs should also be on notice. How does such corruption go on in your area of responsibility, and you do not know, or if you know, you do not report? Police, they will be the same. You still hear some elements pushing sectarianism of tribe and religion. We long ago banished sectarianism. I believe it is both a criminal and electoral offense. Somebody can lose his or her seat of an elected office if it is proved that he used sectarianism even when he is already elected. Bino byokosa amahanga na amadini tukabitekeira ombiragiro omuntu okugamba tumunkome awa nyo ndimunyoroka asangirwe ninga kagamba munkome abokwa ndio mfuruki wanyu turenda kunyaza abanyoro nonyaza abantu nofo kinabo. Kati abantu abo bona twatunga obujulizi orukukozesa olulimi olwo orukubaganisa abantu ngu naronda obururu nakomwa kandi omurimo gwabe lubaka bamuronzere nibagumbingamu nabo ekiyumwa ababunyoro, which is lucky to be an area where many of our tribes are. Make sure that you get rid of this nonsense. You elect somebody because he or she is good, not because of tribe, because of religion, because of this. Mwihe obutu obo mu Uganda, obutu mbwihemu. Mukoma omuntu habwe bikorwa bye birungi. I believe it is both a criminal and electoral offense. Somebody can lose his or her seat of an elected office even if it is proved that he used sectarianism, even if he is already elected. Why then preserve such parasites? Get the evidence and we get rid of them. They can also be prosecuted criminally. Finally, the issue of the environment. the forests, the wetlands, the riverbanks, the lake shores, the hilltops, etc., are crucial for our survival. We need water and clean air. Ningonza mmanye ngombintu byone ebikuru ebintu ebikusinga obukuru nembeho nejembeho eturukwitya hamwe n'amaizi aguturukunywa kandi agarukumeza ebyokurya byone bitukurya nabwekyo kandi amaizi ago garigo mu bisaru garigo mu bibira nabwekyo abantu abarukusisa ebibira bakasisa ebisaru abo abantu banyanzugwa ba Uganda ningoza mukimanye abo kwa tokusobora kugamba tindi nganjani ya Uganda okatema omusingi gwaitu ogwo bwomezi amaizi ebisaru enyanja ebibira nubwo musingi gwo bwomezi bwaitu oguruhanga yatuhaire. Therefore, interfering with the water bodies or with the forests is actually an act of grave enmity, much bigger than coin or these other enemies. You are threatening our livelihood, our survival. Nimugonza tufoke irungu lyo musenyu nkabanda abanda amurora ahandi.